I love influencer marketing. I have found that it is very, very difficult and requires a lot of time and a lot of energy, and in some cases a lot of money to become a good influencer with a good following. That actually takes a freaking load of work, consistent work over a long sustained period of time to develop the ability within a marketplace to influence those people within that marketplace. It's actually a lot more involved than you may believe. You may just think, oh, you just got to post things on your page and that's all you need to do. But that is not how you become an influencer. It is much, much more involved than that. And because of that, I love the fact that now, as entrepreneurs, we can leverage other people's hard work that they've done to build and create their own influencer capabilities within their particular marketplace. We can access that for pennies on the dollar, for absolute pennies on the dollar. And I use influencers massive amounts. In fact, one thing I would love to do in my inner circle, I haven't done it yet because I've got so many other things I want to teach too, but one thing I'd love to do is show my inner circle exactly how easy it is to very, very quickly build a brand and scale sales just using influencers and just doing influencer marketing. I would love to do that with my inner circle. But I've got so many other things I'd love to teach as well. It's just it's always difficult for me because there's always so much I want to show. Anyway, so influencer marketing, it's really, really useful. Let's talk a little bit about it. Here's what I've learned in a pretty kind of shortened version. I could do a whole session just on this for you. However, here's some of the best bits I've learned about it. Let's talk about platforms first. The 3 best influencer platforms are, without a doubt, in ascending order, Instagram, YouTube, and then somebody's own blog or their own website. But it's the 80-20 rule here, and Instagram is really the 80%. Like, it's the majority of the good stuff is found on Instagram. That's where you'll get the most bang for your buck as well. All right. TikTok is coming up fast, but you need a certain kind of marketplace for that. But that's what I found anyway. Instagram, YouTube, and then your own website in that order. All right. When I am looking for influencers, let's just do some quick influencer marketing. Somebody give me a niche. Somebody give me a niche, and let's go and find... Well, we could just do dogs, couldn't we? Since we're looking at a picture of my new puppy. So let's suppose that you are in the puppy niche, okay? And you are wanting to sell a brand new product that you've just put together. So one of the things I learned, for instance, over the weekend when I was looking at going back and buying this dachshund, Natasha made me read all about dachshunds, as she always does. She's the voice of reason in my life. And I subsequently found out that if you are a dachshund owner, then you can't have a lot of the things that you would just buy for a normal puppy. You must buy dachshund specific things because of the length of them. They're basically like a long-haired sausage dog. And so there's lots of things that are very, very specific to dachshunds. Ditto poodles as well. And it's the same for all dogs, okay? So let's just suppose we're in the poodle niche. So all I'm doing here is I'm just on Instagram, and you just saw what I just did. I just went to the search bar, typed in poodle. That's all I've done. Pretty freaking easy, okay? So what I'm looking for when I'm looking for an influencer is I'm looking for what's called reach. I'm looking for... That's the number of people they can get my message out to. I'm looking for relevance, the relevancy to the marketplace that I'm selling in. So if I'm selling poodle products, then I want a poodle influencer, for instance. I'm looking for engagement. So have they got a big audience, but nobody actually reads their posts, nobody actually gives a shit about what they're posting, nobody interacts with their post. So that's engagement. And then I'm looking for cultural fit. So is it a good fit? Is that influencer the sort of person that I want as a brand ambassador? Because that's what they really become, brand ambassadors for my products, for me and my products, okay? So there's that. So that's what I look for when I look for them. And you can just find them directly on here. Like if I look at this picture of a beautiful little poodle here, this is from Olivia the Poodle, who's in Finland. And you can see this post here had 126 likes. So that's some engagement happening right there, which is kind of what you're looking for. So if we just click through onto Olivia the Poodle, they've got 1,441 followers. So let's just hold that thought, and I'm going to show you how to take that information and use it to assess if you should then reach out to this person. And I'll give you some tips on reaching out as well, to go become an influencer for you. So let's start with reaching out to them. How do you do that? Well, I think Melba asked me this question as well. My dad, when I was a young lad, gave me some very, very good advice relating to dating and dating young ladies as I was a young lad. And my dad said to me, you never try, Neil, to get a nice girl into bed on the first night. And that message has stuck with me for a long, long time, and it's applicable to lots of different things in life. So let's just apply it to this. So when you find a person, or a dog in this case, like Olivia the Poodle, let's suppose we wanted to get Olivia the Poodle to become an influencer for us. How would we do that? Well, you do not start immediately by sending them a direct message saying, hey, would you like to become an influencer for me? Can I give you my product or pay for you to promote my product? That's not how you start. Don't do that. That's not the way to do it. Instead, you start by following them, for instance. So up here, look, I can follow them where it says follow in blue. So you follow them and you start there. You like their posts. You share and or retweet their posts, okay? You mention them in your own posts. And when you've done all that and you've started to build up a relationship with them, then you can send them a direct message saying, hey, I really, really like what you're doing. I think that you've got a great audience and you've clearly put a lot of work into your own influencer brand. Would you be interested in getting paid to talk about my product? Here's some information about my product. Let me know if you're interested. We can chat some more. Super, super low key. You don't need to go hell for leather, okay? That's how you do it. That's how I do it anyway, and it's been extremely successful. I always start by being one of their super fans. I guess that's the easiest way to think of it. I become one of their super fans. I like everything they do. I retweet things. I mention them. I'm sharing it. I follow them. Everything like that, okay? You become a super fan, and then you can talk to them. That's the best way to do it. All right. Now, next. Kind of all the other stuff here, aren't I? So here's a very, very good rule of thumb for you. A very good rule of thumb. I look for, as I said, one of the most important things I look for, probably the most important, is what's called engagement. So here you can see that there are 1,441 followers for Olivia the Poodle, okay? But what does that really mean? Like, you can buy followers all over the place to pad out those numbers. So that's not really that important. What's much more important is engagement per post. So here's their posts. you can see that 128 people liked that post and 4 people commented. Let's go to the next one. 413 people liked the post, 9 people commented, 387. So you can see they get very good engagement. Now, what does very good actually mean? For me, 1% or better engagement is really, really good. So if I've got an influencer with 10,000 followers and for their posts they get 100 engagements, so people liking it or commenting on it or sharing it or so anything like that, any form of engagement, 1% or better is what I look for. Okay, so anything better than 1% is good. You could consider them as your particular, as at least as a prospect for you for becoming an influencer for them. And what I tend to do is I really, really stick to and focus on what I think of as micro influencers. So that's people with 50,000 or less followers. So they're quite niche. They're just starting to grow their own brand, their own influencer capabilities. And at less than 50,000, you're going to be able to get a lot better bang for your buck as far as the money you have to pay and what they're prepared to do for you for that money versus going to a celebrity like, let's just have a scroll down. Well, here's Kylie Jenner, okay? So Kylie Jenner, let's just click into her. Imagine if we wanted to get Kylie Jenner with 171 million followers to post something for us. I mean, that's going to be pretty difficult to do as she's a massive, massive celebrity. But also, if we did get her to do something, she would be able to dictate terms to us. We don't want that. We want the opposite of that. And so instead, I focus on 50,000. Around that mark is kind of perfect for me. Paying for things. Let's talk about that. So my, again, rule of thumb is for every 10,000 followers that they've got, remembering my 1% interaction rule, for every 10,000 followers they get, I typically am paying around about $50 per shout out, per post, per recommendation they do, something like that. It's typically around $50 per 10,000, give or take. And then that doesn't mean, however, if they've got 50,000 followers, you'll pay $250. It doesn't work like that. You can negotiate, of course, but that's a very good rule of thumb for you. What else can I tell you? I can tell you with certainty, let's see if we can find one here on Kylie's. Dun, 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 dun. We're looking for a video. So here's a video. Here's a video, what she's posted. With absolute certainty, video works better than static images for what we do. All right. Now, it may not work better for Kylie and for what Kylie's posting. You know, that got 7.8 million likes. Well, that got 32. Oh, well, even on hers, you can see the difference that video makes. So video outperformed all of her images massively. By a factor of 6, video works better. So always get a video done for your product. And I track what I do with my influencers with a unique coupon code. So every influencer, if I've got a product launch going on and I've got, say, 20 influencers I'm working with, then each influencer gets their own unique promo code that they can give to their fan base, gets them 10% off, 20% off, something like that, depending on what I'm doing. But what that means is I can track that and see who's the best influencer versus who's not doing much as far as actually getting sales for me. And then, of course, I work more with the best ones and ditch the ones that aren't getting me anything else. So that's how I track it. Anything else I wanted to tell you about that? Yes, a couple more things. All right. So once you find some influencers, let's just go backwards. So once you find some influencers, where's our little poodle influencer? Our newfound poodle influencer. Where are they? Here they are. Olivia the poodle. All right, so once you find them, here's what I'm using to check them out. So I'm going to give you the link, don't worry. Actually, what I'll do, Facebook, I'll put all the links in here for you, okay? So you've got all of them. That's probably going to be easiest. Doink. Doink. So I use a BuzzSumo to go do some research on them. So this, you can see it works with Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Let me start with that one. Oops, a bit slow, my apologies. The other one I use is Social Blade as well, which kind of works like BuzzSumo to check all that shit out. So it's all about analytics for different accounts, and this one you can use, of course, Instagram. So that's BuzzSumo and Social Blade. And then for finding influencers, that's funny, Dominic. For finding influencers, so the 4 different ones I typically use the most for finding influencers is I either go direct, so just like here for instance, I go direct, I use my hashtag to search, and then I find influencers within that, or, where's my 4? I'll put them in here for you actually. I use Thomason, FameBit, Grapevine, or SocialX. Here you go. So they're all in there for you. Thomason, FameBit, Grapevine, or SocialX. They're the 4 platforms I use to. They act as kind of like Instagram or whatever it may be, whatever platform it is. It's kind of like their agents, I guess, and it's a way to go and find them all within your particular niche. So I also use those as well. But as I said, there's a lot more I could teach you, but not in a kind of session like this, unfortunately. Would really just need a couple of hours on it, because there's loads and loads of cool shit you can do. And I really, really love influencers because, again, not only do you then get them talking about your product, but whatever they create as far as brand content for you, you can repurpose that and use it in other places as well. So you can use the video they create for you on YouTube, you can put it on your blog, you can upload it to your Amazon listing, blah de blah de blah de blah de blah. You can do heaps of cool shit with it. So super cool. I love influencer marketing. Yeah, it does very nice stuff. What about an inner circle on influencers? That's what I'm thinking actually. Maybe we'll do. I think it would be a really, really interesting inner circle to do a complete product launch on Amazon, brand launch, just with nothing else other than influencers, and show you how to do that. If you're in Inner Circle or in my Diamond group and you'd love to see that, just post in the chat, and then maybe that's something we can do for Inner Circle after this particular sequence, because I'm actually putting together a new brand. Maybe I could do it for that. Decisions. Anyway, put it in there, and let's have a look. I'll be happy to go through it. I absolutely, because again, you would be amazed how freaking hard it is to develop an engaged audience on Instagram, for instance. It is ludicrously hard to do, requires a shitload of effort, and you can tap into that for pennies on the dollar. $50 gets you access to it. Super cool. Anyway, hope that was helpful. Good question, Kate. Thanks so much for asking that. Hey, thanks so much for watching that video, and I hope that you got some massive value from it. Before you go, do you live in Australia? If you do, this is for you. Would you like to learn how to sell things on Amazon here in Australia? Would you like to know what sells really, really well and what sells for the maximum amount of profit? Would you like to know where you can source those products from, whether that be in China or here in Australia, and how to source them so you pay bottom dollar and get maximum value for what you're doing. If you do, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and you'll learn that and much more. It's the exact same information that people like Jeff from New South Wales have used to make $45,000 a month on Amazon, that Sue, who's from the sunny coast, has used to purchase herself a brand spankly BMW every single year as a result of her e-commerce business, and the lovely Kate from Bowral in New South Wales has used to make $32,000 a year on a month, not a year, a month on Amazon, and indeed Anthony, who makes $15,000 a month on Amazon, selling, as he puts it, odds and sods. If you'd like to learn the exact same information that they use to maximize their profits for their Amazon businesses, subscribe to this video, like my channel, post below if you want me to teach you something. Okay, I'm out of here. Speak to you soon. Bye. Subscribe. Do it now.